Brought to you by Shawn Porter Promotions.
Hey, I get compared to rappers and actors, and you get compared.
Shawn, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't
Two
say
actors and serial killers, but actors too. Right?
I see it. I can see you killing somebody though.
Yeah, because Ashton Kutcher, right?
Yeah, and unfortunately Drake Bell and a few others.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When you said Drake Bell the other day, I was like, "Yo, that dude look." He
should have
look
gave
like
you
Drake
that
Bell.
idea.
Yeah.
But,
What's his name? No, it was Tiger said it.
Yeah.
Tiger said he looked like he thought he looked like Drake Bell. I was like, "Yo, I never saw that till now."
Man, I ain't doing that to you, man. You a grown man. You was
Sorry.
before Drake.
So 2 actors and then 5.
I got in Tom Cruise once or twice.
Series killers.
I was pulling up at the Gabriella Fundora fight, and this dude was like, "Damn, there goes Tom Cruise right there." You know, that was the exact accent he said it with.
Okay.
Yeah, I said, "Really?"
I don't see Tom.
Neither do I, but he said it, so it
And
counts.
you your own man, big dog.
I'm trying to think.
Your kids don't even look like you.
I could fall for a murderer like I'm in the lane of like a OJ, one of those type of lanes, like
What lane?
like your wife can piss you off and
No. Nobody compares you to anybody, right?
Nah.
Never, right?
Nah.
He's just that ugly. That's crazy.
I'm just happy.
that original.
Welcome to the PorterWay Podcast.
You ain't even got your original name. That's another Shawn Porter in the world. Ha!
He's an original Shawn.
It's not another Anthony Broner on this motherfucker. Shawn, you stupid, bro.
Oh, you came up.
Hey, there's only one me. There's only one me. Look.
All right. Hey, all right. You good. You got it.
My name is
got
crazy.
it.
Look, hey, I bet there's only one Shawn Zartel.
It's only you.
Shawn.
You the only one.
That's it.
That's crazy.
One of one. Is it what for Ant too?
No, hey, there's another one. He spells it with a U.
Okay. On the Bernard.
After the A.
After the A. Oh, there's an AU. Got you.
There's not one, but that's how he spells it.
I'm sorry, y'all. Welcome to the PorterWay Podcast. As you can see, we was having fun.
Yeah.
And this time around, there's only one Shawn Zartel as well.
That's right.
See?
There really is.
Yeah, you and your simple name you got.
Man, yeah.
Yo,
you know,
it's
for a
just
long time, you Googled me and the
Football player.
football player came up.
Because I was talking to somebody one time, they like, Shawn Porter fight? I'm like, yeah, he fights.
The Gridiron Games guy, he would come up.
Was he in the NFL?
Yeah. So
Who
we
did
got
he
Redskins.
the Gridiron Games guy, and it was a football player.
I don't know the Gridiron Game guy.
He was the coach. So you remember the movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was the coach. Yeah,
that's
that
his
was
real name?
Shawn Porter. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you the most famous Porter?
I am.
Who else do you have? No, there's got to be.
Nah,
a few.
Joey Porter.
Joey Porter.
Joey ain't more famous
And
than
his
me.
son.
And his son.
And his son.
Joey in the league
Michael
now.
Porter
Yeah.
Jr.
Michael Porter Jr.
I can keep
from
going.
the
You want to keep going?
Nuggets.
You ain't got one more.
Joey Spencer.
Darian Porter. He just got drafted by the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a bigger name than you, but
Dang.
he's in the NFL.
Yeah, there's a lot of Porters.
Joey, how many rings Joey got? He got 1 or 2.
One.
Just 1, right?
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
He wasn't on that second one.
Okay, yeah.
With Tomlin.
Yeah. Oh, so he got it with the
With
previous guy.
Cower.
Okay, he got it with
Cower,
Cowher.
yeah.
Okay. Well, hey,
How would
listen.
you know that? That's good.
Because I got to cover the NFL now, too.
And-
So I better know some of those
Hey,
things.
every time I'm looking up NFL stuff, guess what's coming up? Shawn Zartel. It throws me off because I'm like, all right, I'm just not used to your name attached to the NFL.
Hold on, you be looking up NFL stuff and you see his name?
Yeah. Well, I follow him
See,
on
you
my...
can't look up the Raiders.
follow you on everything
without-
now.
Yeah, I think
And when he...
Since we on the bullshit. Since we on the bullshit.
What's this?
Why you always buy stuff when it's hot?
Since we on the bullshit.
Why does he
it's
always
100
get stuff when
degrees
it's
out.
hot?
We just
Hey,
gotta-
listen, y'all, that's been in my closet for a year.
Yeah, because I could have sworn I seen you with it on.
Looks like.
And that might be Hafey's or it might be Ant's.
Shawn, you know I look ridiculous.
The name is on it.
What's the name?
On the top of it.
Thank you, Shawn.
I just simply want to hold this is,
This is
shameless
kind of
plug
Bruce Lee.
here,
This
so-
is kind of
Oh,
Bruce Lee.
it says Ant.
That's Ant right there?
Okay. Look how he did the T.
Let me see.
Look
With
what
the
he
2 T's.
No, but look how he
The
did it.
second
Look
one
at-
is capitalized.
Yeah, why the second one capitalized? What you T?
Makes sense.
Hey, y'all.
And some have people,
bad.
I accepted that's the name now.
They about to be calling you Mr. Two T's.
Yeah, you tried it.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep trying it too.
I'm gonna
Two
keep
T's.
trying it.
No, hold it up.
Oh,
Hold it
okay,
up. I
okay,
gotta
okay.
plug. I gotta plug it.
Okay.
Feels,
That's all. Hafey, you ain't got one.
Oh, okay. This is different.
Yeah.
Does he have one?
Yeah, he got one.
No, does he got one?
Oh yeah, you know.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
cool. I want to
Shawn.
do my man like that.
Yeah, no. You know
Sean,
he got
thank
one.
you. I feel kind of embarrassed receiving this for some reason.
Listen,
Ooh, the play button.
Shawn Porter Suits on Instagram. Hit us up if you want one. That right there is the WBGC, the World Boxing Gaming Community that we started for the Undisputed video game. We also have, we can do whatever you want if you want something that's specific to you. But if you want a TPWP warm up, we got you for that as well. He said, why you give us stuff when it's always hot? You give us the cold stuff when it's cold. You give us the stuff for the hot when it's cold. That's just me. That's what
I've been friends with him over 10 years.
It is.
I kind of accept what I'm going to get.
It is what it is. Listen, but like I said before, we can do custom stuff. So if you got a team, you want to set your team right, we got you. Holla at us at Shawn Porter Suits on Instagram, and we got you. That's really the only, business I had,
to discuss.
Yeah, it was
Patreon.
I was getting there. We are sunsetting our Patreon. I am not going to ignore the...
Usually that means you dead. Sunrise, sunset.
Well, Patreon is about to be dead. After I do this, it's going to sunset. So let me do it.
Oh, my bad.
We have had a number of subscribers over there. We want you guys, everybody, we want you right now, since you're watching this show, go right down there below that link and click on that membership page. That'll take you so you can sign up, become a member of the PorterWay Podcast YouTube. All of the exclusive footage is going there. You won't see it right here on the PorterWay Podcast channel. You'll see it on the membership page. Stuff like the boxing seminar that I just did, the sparring session that I just did. I'm going to be getting around the country doing some sparring. The thing I was supposed to do with Ray Jackson, that might be coming up. If and when it does, it'll be right there on the membership. I told
Ray Jackson, Shawn Porter just shows what's wrong with boxing. You get these fights.
Thank you.
And they either, sometimes they don't deliver, they don't come through, something happens and I think Porter Jackson is just more of the same.
Ray he's just doing the Tank Davis thing. He's just delaying it, all right? Eventually you'll get it. It's just being delayed.
So you're Lamont, he has found a way to be the A side?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, he's found a way to become the A side.
Damn.
Until he get punched in the face.
Damn.
But all that being said, Showbiz. I got something coming up with Showbiz. I'm going to be getting in the ring with Showbiz. I'm going to Chicago to get in the ring with him. That'll be right there on the membership. So really, it's the incentive. It's only $10. Just sign up.
We're getting you to Louisiana. I'm always down for that.
Yeah.
We got a gym out there. We got our boy Rougarou out there.
We go to Louisiana. It's got to be a little bit different, though. We gonna do the whole boxing thing, but we gotta see some alligators.
Okay, I can make that happen.
We gotta go to some restaurants.
I can make that happen.
A little bit different with Louisiana.
They'd love to have you out there in Lafayette.
Yeah. So.
They did let me know when Terrence was out there for something. Some world game, something. I was like, okay, like, you want me to call him, tell him to check in?
Yeah. Ain't it funny? You pop up somewhere and like people, they feel like you have to know that he was here.
Yeah.
So anyway, go on over to our membership right now, right there below, and sign up and become a member. What I was gonna say about the Patreon followers that we had over there, a few of you guys, I owe y'all something. All right, I ain't forgot about y'all. Still got y'all on the list. I'm gonna take care of y'all. Don't trip. I got you. Everybody else, just take a look at what you get for being a member, and we'll do the best we can to square you guys all the way.
Hey, Patreon members, send us a DM to the PorterWay Podcast. We'll get back to you. If not,
send a DM.
I know, I'm like, if you have to hit me, but I'd rather you hit the PorterWay Podcast. Let Shawn Management deal with it. You want to take Shawn to your hood too?
Which one?
Whatever hood you got, they got a boxing gym. Take him to your hometown. Can he survive in the BX?
You never lived in California.
No. Well, San Francisco for a few months.
You did live in San Francisco.
Yeah,
okay.
A few months.
But you were already a fan
nice
before
part
that,
of San
right?
Francisco, though, yeah.
You were a fan before.
No, I was young. I was 7 years old. When we were moving from New York to Las Vegas, I had to stay a few months in San Francisco with my grandparents.
Okay.
That's when I liked the Niners. Because of that.
Yeah. So that's when you became a Niners.
Yeah.
Got you.
98.
That's interesting. Never knew that.
Yeah, because in 98, we watched them.
Sent by the wrong guy.
Actually, 97, my bad. Yeah.
Sent by the wrong guy.
Why?
What did you do? When you left New York?
I was only 7. But yeah, I keep my New York card. I'm not
when you left Ohio?
Much older.
I was much older.
I was 10. I was 10 when I got to Vegas.
In my 20s.
Right, we're not rescinding our hometown cards. No, we refuse to.
I'm from Henderson. I'm done with Las Vegas. I mean, done with Louisiana.
That's where the sale here.
Yeah, yo, that's where I'm from.
Everything say Henderson on
That's
here.
that's why I claim. Okay.
If you're looking for Ant, start in Henderson.
Hey, chill out. First off, Jesus, okay? Because you can literally do some stuff and find me. Don't do that, okay? I'm from Bucky, Louisiana.
Yeah,
were you offended when they
take
were
your ass back to Bucky?
When they were trying to say Devin Haney's from Henderson? Did you take offense to that? Like, we're not soft in Henderson. What's that supposed to mean?
I just accepted it because I always got it when I was kids too. Because the problem with me is when you play me in sports and we win, I'm gonna let you know. And we from Henderson. Y'all just lost. And we from Henderson. So I'm that guy.
You went there?
Oh yeah.
He said, and we from Henderson.
You lost us. And we from Henderson. So we come to North Las Vegas, beat teams, and we from Henderson. So, you can tell people, and you from Aspen after you beat them. Where you from?
Aspen.
Where you from? Stowe. Let's get the boxing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You beat somebody.
You were trying to say.
My bad, bro.
Because Aspen is in Colorado. Just so you know.
I meant Akron, but I fucked that up.
Akron, Stowe.
You knock somebody out and be like, I'm from Stowe.
Yeah. Let's get to some. Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
They want us to do this more, I guess. I see that a lot in the comments.
Yeah, people love us
They
to
want
just chit-chat.
They just want us to get right to boxing. They just,
yeah.
Oh, they want us to get right to the.
they want us to
at that.
So no, you're right. Some people like.
Some
it
people
too,
like
yeah.
us chit-chat, but
Most people like.
I can't even fucking boxing.
Give me what I came for. Yeah.
Shout out to ProBox TV.
How many minutes?
Even though I don't work ProBox TV anymore, I still support them, and I love what they're still dishing out to you guys. I think it's fantastic for boxing, ProBox TV, and they've had some really knockout, some big fights going on the network. Most recently, Angelo Leo retained his title, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Why don't you take us through it?
So I get home from the mountains. We were up in the mountains camping. Never been camping before, but anyways, so
How you pull that off?
Huh? My wife has friends of
Okay.
my son goes to school, and so they organize all the kids to go together. I went anyway.
Okay.
I couldn't watch the fight because of that. So I get home. Right. I'm mad. No.
And
So
how do you feel when you Google yourself and I come up?
That's happens.
Okay.
I'm attached to that.
And then one day they'll Google you and it'll come up.
Yeah.
You better
I
not
can't
come
wait.
up.
I
Better
can't
not
wait.
see a goddamn. I better not see a face.
When you Google your kids, I'm gonna come up.
Slow down.
Uncle Ed.
Slow down.
Look at Uncle Ed.
Go ahead, Zitel. Go ahead.
So I get back Saturday morning and I see that Leo has retained the title by majority decision. And I'm like, oh, he must have looked flat. He must have looked not what he looked like against Venado Lopez, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was the kind of performance he had against Venado. Fighters can only summon but so many times. You got a couple of peaks in you in your career. If you're a top champion, you have a consistent prime. But, those nights like Venado, you're not going to quite be able to summon that every single night. Like,
It's a consistent prime, but even for the elite, it's a consistent prime with peaks of greatness, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And usually it's that prime, and then once you start to see a decline, you don't see it come back up, usually.
Right,
It just
right.
and for the elite, it's usually a very slow decline, you know what I mean? So
Right.
that's interesting. People think that you peak and you're just there and you happen to be there. No, some fighters have peak performances.
Right.
You're not the best, but you have a peak performance, Josh Taylor, we're going to be talking about him in a little bit. I think that's a prime example of peak performances, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah, they all come in different. Fighters' primes could come in different shapes and forms and lengths and all that. Like Josh, I think, had his peak performances kind of come like back to back to back to back, and then that was it, But with Leo, I watched the fight. I think if this fight was in, and it is nothing. I'm not knocking Japan. Anywhere you fight,
no.
I'm not.
Japan's tough. It seems like it's tough to win there, but go ahead.
I think it's tough to win on the road anywhere. I think if you're a foreign fighter fighting in the United States, it's a little harder to win here than it. And if you're a fighter from the United States fighting overseas, it's going to be a little harder for you to win there. The game is the game pretty much everywhere when it comes to that.
Wasn't hard for Kell Brook to win over here.
That's true, but
You bring up this
yeah.
Was that PTSD?
Sean's just like, well, if that's the case, where was my gift?
Yeah, I feel you, Sean.
God damn it! Hey,
That night you needed
I thought
one.
we get gifts.
when the fight ended,
you needed one.
when the fight ended, in my mind, I was defeated. I felt like I lost, but I was like, I'm gonna get one because I'm here.
Yeah, and I'm Sean Porter.
Nope, it wasn't because I'm Shawn Porter. I just thought like I'm gonna get past this one, and then I'll be all right.
regroup.
Yeah.
This is
I
gonna
was
be that
get
fight
one.
I had when they said I lost, but I got the win anyways. I get to
Yeah.
move on and
Yeah.
But so Kameda, anyways, was very competitive throughout, but it was a little bit generous that he got a majority decision.
Mm-hmm.
Leo's jab was superb. He Leo, like against Espinoza might be a little too big. Inoue it's all about Leo's firepower because he has great skills actually.
Yes.
He's an excellent boxer.
Yes, sir. I agree.
Beautiful jab, beautiful balance, can
agree.
throw every punch in the book, tough, got good IQ. And even though he knocked out Venado, that was after hitting Venado with like 100 shots. So he's not a concussive, heavy-handed puncher.
Mm-hmm.
But so against Inoue and Espinoza, he'll be an underdog against those guys. But this dude, Angelo Leo, he's in terms of skills and heart, he's got it. He's a really good fighter. I would love to see him fight any of the big names. He has a chance to beat even Stephen Fulton, who clearly beat him at 122. I wouldn't count him out of a rematch. I don't count him out against Espinoza. I don't count him out against Inoue. He's a really good fighter. And this was an underrated performance. Kameda was strong as hell. He was stronger in the pocket. He out-Mexicaned him a little bit sometimes in close. But Leo can box, so he didn't have to stay there all night.
You say that? I worked him. I worked him.
I like that
my
Mexican.
bad. But he boxed a really good fight. I thought it was kind of a.
You felt there should have been a unanimous decision,
Yes.
not majority.
Yep.
It's all the same to me. So I was like, all right, majority. All right, cool.
Right.
I like Angelo. I think he's in a position now where it should be big fight. Obviously, he's working with Pro Box TV, so they don't mind working with other promoters or anything like that. But we'll see. I think that any of the top names, and to your point, I would love to see a rematch with Stephen Fulton.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great rematch for Leo. Obviously, we would expect him to win that fight now at this point. More of a fight that could help elevate him even more. And then the other side of that, of course, Stephen Fulton, you got to put respect on the man's name.
He would still be a favorite heading into a rematch.
Yeah.
Because how much he won the first fight decisively.
And then, the big fight that he just had against
Figueroa.
Figueroa, excuse me. Against Figueroa. So, man, that's a big fight.
Yeah.
It's a big fight.
I think, though, the fight might be Espinoza because Espinoza's top rank. And that might be the fight where it's like, if you could beat this guy, there's no denying you the Inoue fight. Because that's the sweepstakes for all these 126-pounders who can make themselves the clear-cut choice for Inoue to fight, probably even in the States. So
Has Inoue talked about moving up to 126?
he says that'll be his final stop. And he does plan to be undisputed.
But did he say when? I'm sorry.
No.
I should have.
Well, actually, I think the word is he is going to go up to 26 to fight Nick Ball. I think he's supposed to fight Akhmadaliev, then Nick Ball, then drop back down for the big one against
Bam?
Nakatani.
What about Bam?
The Bam is still, at 15.
Bam is at 15.
So he's got to come
Better
up.
start?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll ever fight.
You don't?
I don't.
No.
Damn. What about I see you guys talking about Angelo fighting people. What about Shushu? I mean, he got an opportunity.
He's in the mix. It sounds like he's going to be fighting. It sounds like Fulton's going to be moving up to fight Oshaki for the 130-pound title.
Okay.
And that frees up the WBC for Shushu to fight Carlos Castro.
Okay.
And
It's a great fight.
It's actually a good fight, yeah.
When is this talking about? Early fall?
I don't know. I think in the next 5 to 6 weeks it'll all get sorted out. We'll get something official one way or the other about Fulton and Foster. And then the minute that domino has to fall, so then you find out what Bruce is doing next. But Bruce is number one with the WBC, whether it's Fulton, whether it's a vacant title against Castro, he's getting his shot probably next. If not next, the next fight after that.
I would love for him to get going now with the top guys to be prepared for when the boogeyman comes.
Inoue.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just don't want you to get up in there too early. Kind of like Caleb Plant type deals like that. I want you to get some experience behind you.
Maybe two bigger fights.
Yeah, I want some fight.
Yeah,
I'm good with 3 or 4,
Yeah.
but I don't know if you're gonna be able to pull that off.
Who's going to step up and unify? to show they're the clear-cut guy that Inoue needs
You
to
gotta
see.
fight.
Yeah, who's gonna step, because
Yeah.
you could play the game of Nat, let's hold on to this belt. We already know he said he wants to be undisputed, so as long as we hold on to this belt, we're gonna get the payday.
Boxing.
You could do that, or you could be bold and say let's make a unification, because they're all 50-50 fights in that weight class. So
I agree.
yeah.
126 about to get lit.
Yeah, real boxing nerd shit. I love it.
I'm trying to figure it out because I'm like, I went from Devin Alexander to Paulie Malignaggi to Kell Brook, and then it was like I had like big fight but to the point of what you said, you wanted to see him get in the ring with a couple of big names before he gets to the boogeyman. So I'm like, okay, well, Keith Thurman was the boogeyman at one point, and I had Alexander, I had Malignaggi, but I'm sitting there trying to think like what was going on with the business that afforded me the ability to do that. Whereas now you're talking about, well, who's going to unify? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? Just get the fucking ring.
But I don't know. It's just like, I never questioned if you was ready for those matches. I do question if Shushu was ready for that fight. At that time, did you question if Shawn was ready?
Oh, for what? For like a Keith
Thurman, yeah.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, Shawn had a ridiculous amateur background, and then he had went 12 here, he'd went 10 here, so he was ready.
So do we need more of that from Shushu?
I think the
I think
Castro
we all
fight.
feel like
Castro fight's gonna help a lot, and then he needs
this
one
is
more after that.
When
probably.
Keyshawn Davis sit right there and I say, "You sure you ready? How do you know you ready?" And all that kind of. This is the kind of conversation that I was trying to have, or what I was trying to present to him. Like, you don't know this yet, young man, but I know. In hindsight's 2020. But you don't know until you actually go through the experience whether or not you're actually ready for it. It's just how life is. You can be as confident as you want to be and all that kind of stuff, but it ain't until the bell ring and things start to play out do you actually find out whether or not you're ready for it. After the fact is when you know, like, okay, I was ready for that, I wasn't ready for this, I gotta grow here, so on and so forth, you know what I mean? So my fight I had with Keith, I was like, I knew I was ready for Keith. But after the fight, I was like, that was a badass fight. But I did that wrong. There was one thing I knew I did wrong in that fight. I just go too much. And I had to look back at that and learn from it. I was ready, but I became even more ready after the fight.
And I think you guys probably both co-sign. Just because you got a belt don't determine how good you are. I think Caleb Plant now is better than Caleb Plant with the IBF. Caleb Plant went through the war.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and I think the same thing with Shawn.
Yeah.
Just when you're a better fighter, and I just think some guys trying to talk their way into moments that they're not ready for. I think that's what you're trying to just keep talking over it. Trying to tell Keyshawn that you need a little bit more experience, bro. You getting there, we see it, but a little more experience, you'll be ready for that moment.
Yeah.
Because who was he talking about? That Tank at the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
that's just a different animal. It's a different beast. And for anybody that Lamont this and that, well, that was that fight. And that was that style of fight. And it was those two guys, and what we already said before, they're from the same neighborhood, blase. Everybody, and Keyshawn do look lights out. But it don't mean he gonna be lights out against Tank because the one thing you cannot, what they say, Father Time is undefeated, right? Yeah. Well, you look at the time that Tank has been a professional, and you look at the time that Keyshawn has been a professional, and it weighs like this. You know what I mean? So it's just, something to consider. But again, when you're talking about Shushu, I think you're right. I like to see him get one or two big fights. I think start with Castro is perfect.
Yeah, I just think, man, his gear up.
And salute to Carlos too, because he ain't no punk.
No, he dropped Fulton, and that was a really close fight with Fulton. And he's got experience under his belt now, but he's not long in the tooth. Yeah. He's still a fresh, young, strong fighter. Yeah. But now he's seasoned, so that's going to be a difficult fight potentially for Shushu. He might make it not difficult, but on paper it should be his toughest test. I'll just say this, for my fellow boxing nerds, like, get excited for 126 because Inoue fighting any of these guys is magic in the ring. I agree. Angelo and Inoue is, I think it's got a little bit of Pacquiao Marquez in it, where Angelo's counterpunching would have to kind of be his defense, and it would just be a great fight. It would just be a great fight. Those two styles, Espinoza, Shushu, Nick Ball. I mean, think of the styles we're talking about here.
Yeah.
All those guys like to go.
And all those guys going up against one another.
Yeah.
You know, opposed to waiting to find out if I'm in
Sharpen each other on the way and your way coming.
And even sharpen boxing. Because they're great fights at 126. You get the power, you get the, you know, you may not get the brutal KOs, but you get guys, you know.
These guys can hit. Carrington's got some brutal KOs. Inue's got some brutal KOs.
Yeah.
Leo had the KO of the year against Venado. So these Espinosa's hitting. Nick Ball's hitting. I'm excited. I'm excited to see the 26-pounders.
I'll tell you what, and then we can close on this, but if Nick Ball come in the ring and beat Nick Ball, which I don't see Nick Ball not doing.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a fight against Inoue. Yeah.
Inoue, though, I think it's smart matchmaking by him.
Smooth enough, huh?
It's smart matchmaking. He's the only featherweight. Well, he's out of all the featherweights, he's the shortest. So I could be rangy against him. I can do my normal shit.
Yeah.
And as tough as Nick Ball is, he's like Pitbull Cruz. He is one-dimensional, and so really, really good at that one dimension.
He's one-dimensional, but better than
Pitbull a little bit. Yeah, but comparable.
Yeah. It's something to say. Yeah, just got a little bit more to his.
But
to what
like
he does.
Ryle with Pitbull, we've seen as good as this guy is at this one thing, he could be beat. He could take advantage. So I think Inoue would be wise to use his speed against Nick Ball, use his athleticism.
In championship fights like that, Shawn, is the difference is like people take moments off. And championship fights, you can't take a moment off.
Which fights?
Because that's why I feel like some guys get to that point and they're like, or they feel like I'm comfortable. Oh, I'm in my shit. Lights out. Like you get knocked or just moments.
I think at the elite level is just like playing football.
It's championship seconds.
Every single snap, everybody's going hard. Yeah. And the difference with that is for boxing, the snap is 3 minutes. Whereas, you know, football is, you know, kind of, you know, that start, stop. So that's the big thing. And
how can you prepare yourself for that besides just going through it?
I was at the gym the other day, and Coach K wants me to spar with Kenny Sims to get him ready for his, well, not get him ready, but, you know, just give him some rounds or whatever. And I told Coach K, you know, hey, make sure you aware of my hip and this and that. And shut the hell up. And I said, you know, I don't bend my knees the way I used to, because I'm just trying to I just don't want to feel it. Coach K came to the gym the other day. I'm hitting the bag, and he had a couple of Filipino guys in there, and he's like, "Come here," right? And he had me going through some slipping drills with the kid, and we going hard at it, right? And I told the kid, right, we do the cadence, right? 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds. We do the cadence, 4 seconds, 5 seconds. We do the cadence, and I told the kid, I said, you're waiting too long. You got to go right back. So now, cadence, turn, cadence, turn, cadence, turn. Just one round. After that round, he was like, I said, that's what you have to do.
12.
Yeah, I said, that's what you have to do. Now, me being out of the ring and not wanting to feel all that kind of stuff, I caused myself to feel it because I know he needs that. And he needs to understand that these pauses ain't like, that's not, if you want to be elite, these moments like this, it can't be taking little slow steps. It's got to be like this.
No silent agreements.
Exactly. And it's got to be like this. And at the highest level, ain't nobody making no silent agreements.
No,
you know?
They're feinting or positioning, doing something. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Especially the feints. Yeah. But
the fights that happened out there in England.
Yeah. So, Moses Itauma, I'm going to say.
Like him.
He's
all on my timeline the last 24 hours. What's up with this?
So I tell Shawn
light skin.
Before the show, I'm like, there's no we gotta really deep dive on this kid this time. Like the we can't keep sleeping on him. He is so I text Shawn, I was like, please, like, check him out big time. What'd you think, Shawn, taking a look at him?
I like everything about the dude.
Yeah.
How tall is he?
6'2.5". He's listed
6'2.5".
Yeah.
Fighting at heavyweight.
He says he's 6'4".
20. No, you said 6'2" right here.
And then how young is he?
20.
20 years, 5 months.
Yeah. Obviously, he's got some building to do. He got a lot. I mean, he's got tons to work with. A southpaw with his kind of style. Am I right or wrong? He reminds me a little bit of a southpaw Lennox Lewis.
I don't know. It's because Lennox at 6'5.5". Like
Yeah.
I just think of that height.
Yeah.
And that he has a different build than
Yeah.
Lennox. What reminds you? What is it about him that reminds you of Lennox?
Him starting it with the jab.
Uh-huh.
Him understanding the range. Like, and I saw this consistently with him. He steps when he needs to, and it's one of those really just small things that you just have to innately know and see. But he takes the long jabs when he needs to. He takes the short ones. He sets everything up. He turns over that straight left the same way that I've seen Lennox turn over the right. You know what I mean? So obviously I flipped it, but I was like, he kind of reminds me of Lennox, which is why I asked how tall is he? Because I'm like, he's not as big as you would expect him to be at 20 years old. He's going to get a little bit bigger.
Right.
He's going to get a little bit bigger. He's obviously going to get thicker. You know what I mean? So in another 2 years, he's going to wreck something.
Yeah, he's looking I don't see the Lennox as much as I see,
Who do you see?
I just see a guy, a middleweight, a guy that could fight like a welterweight or a middleweight competing in the heavyweight division. Like you could tell he watched Floyd.
Yeah.
A lot, just with the way the lead hand is low, and he.
He says Nassim Hamed.
Hamed was his favorite fighter,
yeah.
right. But I don't. And he says he's tried to incorporate some of Nassim into what he does.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that from a standpoint of he's a puncher, but Prince Nassim made his awkwardness work for him. This kid is well schooled. He doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty by the book, unlike Nassim Hamed. I'm just really impressed that with his fluidity in the heavyweight division, his technical prowess, he dropped this man, Eric Balogun, with a check hook going backwards. Beautiful balance, and dropping a man while you're going backwards is impressive. He's dropped guys with both hands. He moves his head. He's athletic.
Yeah.
He's got a lot. I think he's the best prospect in the heavyweight division since Tyson Fury.
Damn.
Some of the things I'm giving him, I gave Jared Anderson too. Jared was a fluid heavyweight. He was a middle-sized guy, smaller than the big guys, but big enough and punches hard enough that he can compete with them. But he has a fluidity they lack. But this kid at 20 is better than Jared's ever looked. He's better than Jared's ever looked.
Damn.
He has one of the same flaws Jared has.
I can't disagree with that.
Yeah, I'm just keeping it real.
I can't disagree with that.
Yeah. And Jared, he got knocked out by Bocoli, but he shows talent, the switch hitting, the jab, the fluidity. But Jared kept his chin up even more than Itauma does. Itauma, when he landed that check hook, he got bopped with a jab at the same time too. So he still does that step back and the chin's a little bit up when he punches. But he, and another thing just is that physically, that's a question mark too. Is he's a little soft? He's not like he talked about. I don't know if he talked about, but it was in the press a lot. Could he be like Tyson and win the title at 20 years old? And now he's a month older than Tyson was. Tyson just was physically a different specimen than Itauma. It's not bodybuilding.
Mentally, physically, everything.
No, but this kid could fight. And he's just not. He's not. It's not bodybuilding, but at some point, he's going to go up against well-schooled heavyweights that are chiseled too, that are strong too. And you could have a lot of skills and talent, but obviously the conditioning and the shape you put your body into is a part of the game too. It's not just about, I can counterpunch better than them. I got faster hands than them. I have better punch selection than them. He's still got to address that, put some muscle on. But, man, I'll just say this. He deserves the hype train. Now, going forward, the question is the hype real? And he can only prove that in the ring. I'll say this, though. We're talking about the level of competition, and obviously it needs to get better for him to show what he's really got. But one guy he knocked out 2 fights ago, Thomas McKean, 22-1 when he knocked him out. He went 12 rounds with Flip Hrgovic. Flip Hrgovic beat Zhili Zhang. Flip Hrgovic has been a top 10 heavyweight. Yeah. So for Itauma to knock out that guy in 1 round when it took Hrgovic, that kind of tells you where his level's already at. It looks like he's got next. He's still got to get punched. We haven't seen him get rocked and how he responds. We don't know if he takes a good shot. We don't know about his gas tank.
Go through some shit.
We got to see, but the hype is deserved. The hype train has began, and I'm on it.
He got to go through some shit. Go ahead.
No, it's sad because as you said all this, man, I remember this about Jared Anderson.
Right.
Yeah.
Having the same conversation. So I just, hopefully kids stay focused. I feel like the biggest downfall with these boxers, Shawn never really got into it, but you know Shawn Itauma, it's like I have to have the Mayweather look. I have to have the chains. I got to have a car. It's like they get ahead of themselves instead of keep working. There's a young prospect coming up. I'm like, bro, how you even living in that neighborhood, bro? Like, keep working. It's like they get ahead of themselves because they want the image.
Let me ask you this: what was the deal with Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson back in the day? Mike was a champion, and was Lennox like the quad right behind him?
He was the HBO put it perfectly. They said while Mike Tyson was heavyweight champion, Lennox was in finishing school, graduate school.
Ooh, I like that.
He was finishing in the amateurs.
Yeah.
Still.
There was a big age gap between them?
It wasn't even an age gap.
It wasn't.
Lennox was running his own race.
Exactly.
No 20-year-old in the history of the heavyweight division is probably as good as a 20-year-old Mike Tyson. But now 20-year-old Mike Tyson loses to prime versions of other heavyweights, but at 20, he's probably the best 20-year-old heavyweight ever. Yeah.
You will never be able to take that from him.
Right.
And it was all of it. Everything that got him there was everything that destroyed him as well.
Damn.
That hard work ethic, that coming from the streets, and that custom model, all of that is what Cuss. I think he has such respect for Cuss that he wouldn't get out of line.
Yeah.
I just think, I don't know, but I just think that when Cuss went away, I think it really, that was the knockout. That was a knockout blow. That kind of like hurts me a little bit to say it out loud, but that was a knockout blow for Mike. And for a long time after Cuss, the natural God-given abilities is what got him, kept him. But you see a big change in who he is as a person. It was like when Cuss passed, it was like nothing mattered as much anymore. You know what I mean? So damn, that sucks.
He lost his rock.
Yeah. And to have that kind of rock at 20 years old, we'll never ever see that again. I've said this about Floyd. You will never ever see a fighter have one style at the beginning of their career and a completely different style at the end of their career. You will never see another 20-year-old fighter do what Mike
Tyson did. Yeah, probably not.
Because Mike was ahead of his time, and he had somebody that was there. Does that make sense? Like Mike at 20 was probably 30.
Yeah.
And he had somebody that was old enough just to find all that fire and just pull all that fire and put it into that 20-year-old man. That's amazing.
I think with Mayweather and Tyson, just being dads, it takes somebody to believe in you like that.
Yeah.
They spoke life into both of them guys.
Yeah.
And he believed it when it wasn't even his father.
Yeah.
So it's just little stuff with just kids.
Yeah. And the reason why I asked that is because, over here, we thought it was going to be Jarrett. I still want it to be Jarrett.
Me too, man.
It still could be. You never know.
Yeah.
Like, this is the heavyweight division. You never know.
And then there's the Richard Torres over here as well. And I'm just thinking, like, what was the buzz like back in the day? Obviously, we didn't have social media. What was the buzz like for Mike
on the barbershops
and Lennox? Was there ever the talk of wait till these two guys meet, And then over here, it would be Richard Torres, I would assume, maybe Jared Anderson. And over there, it seems like Moses is going to be the next heavyweight guy over there.
Well, so it's funny. I thought about it. I'm like, well, really, for the last 25 years, the Brits and the Ukrainians have dominated the heavyweight division.
True.
I mean,
shout out Deontay Wilder.
True.
Wilder.
Come on, don't do that.
You count them on one hand, probably though. Wilder, Chris Bird, Layman Brewster, Hasim Rahman, Bermain Stavern are the five Americans. Andy Ruiz, and John Ruiz. To your point, right? John Ruiz. So thank you. You're right. Both Ruizes. So okay, 7. Right? They're not all brothers, right? We got to mention Andy and John too, right? But
out there as well.
Yeah. So good. Thank you, Ant.
Hey, I'm here.
They try to say Ant's biased. Ant's the one making sure Andy gets included. So good. Thank you.
Hey, my kids is mixed. I just be joking, y'all, because y'all be getting so mad about this. I just be playing. I promise you.
Yeah. So, but what's funny is he's a hybrid. His mother is Slovenian, or it's not Slovenian, Slovakian.
Yeah.
And his father Nigerian, British. Lennox was really Jamaican, and Anthony Joshua's father Nigerian too. So he's a hybrid actually, and I'm starting to. The way we say who's the next great American heavyweight, might have to start looking at it like who's the next great British heavyweight, because since Lennox, whether it's been Lennox or Fury or Joshua or Dubois.
He was All-American before we started this show. Now all of a sudden
I'm just keeping it real. Like I'm lighting a fire. American heavyweights.
You stupid.
American heavyweights. The crown has officially been snatched for a while.
You
now.
want to know what that conversation was like? You got to go sign up on the
You
membership.
can't get that conversation.
You won't get that one, but you gonna
That
get
was
some other
crazy.
conversations. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but it's just you look, whether it's Usyk or the Klitschko brothers or Fury and Lennox and all. Those two places have really been dominant in the heavyweight division.
Absolutely.
So maybe it's the question now is who's the next great British heavyweight?
Yeah.
And maybe that answer is Moses Itauma.
Some respect on that name.
Yeah.
So-
Well, I like him. He's solid.
Me too.
He's gonna where it's crazy where he is now. He's gonna become a better version of who he is now.
Right.
B plus?
And this in what? What do you mean?
Just overall great
package?
for him. Yeah.
I think B plus, maybe already A
Mid
minus with an A plus with an A. If he gets in better shape, if he could get a little bit, get that body a little bit.
But there's so much that we
upside.
haven't seen of him.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're 85.
Yeah.
Because there's things we just haven't
B
seen.
plus with an A plus upside or A upside.
Yeah,
A
you gotta get punched in the bottom lip.
A
He gotta
upside.
get punched in his left nostril. He gotta go. He gotta go 12 rounds hard.
He's got to make adjustments.
And again, if he's doing all that in the gym, then salute you, sir. I just don't know it yet. You're 85% still.
Someone from the UK, shout out Rob Tebbett. I won't get into details, but he saw Itauma apparently run through top 10 big name heavyweights in the gym. Ben Davison.
Run through.
That's the gym. We comfortable at the gym. I ain't trying to hear that no more.
Right, and that's what young guys are supposed to do,
Except
right?
for when I spar, then I want y'all to, sign up on the membership and tune in when I spar.
Run through.
So,
Yeah. Josh Taylor, do we?
Josh Taylor.
Josh Taylor, do we?
Hey, great career. What?
Oh, you gonna do it? Go ahead.
Pound for pound list. Man, you was one of them guys. I salute to you. He was one of them guys. I couldn't believe how he beat my boy Regis. Great fight.
Yeah.
But I thought Regis was gonna get that one. But can't believe how my boy T.O. beat you. I thought you was gonna get that one. But a hell of a career. Shout out to Josh Taylor. Did he? I heard some. I never knew it was speculations by him. I didn't know that.
In what?
I ain't gonna say it. I like it. I like it too much. Speculations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, speculation being extra strong.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that was the thing?
No, not particularly.
Oh, okay,
if it's
okay, cool.
what I think you're talking about. No.
What they doing, man?
Not any more or less than your normal.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Anyway.
shout out to He think all of them do it.
No, I don't. Maybe. I don't know. Anything's
But
possible.
shout out to Josh Taylor. Shawn been in the camp with him.
Yeah,
Was the camp or
wasn't
just
the
one?
camp.
Oh, my
He just showed up and.
Oh my bad. I didn't know the
Just showed
story.
up trying to be a bully over here.
Oh,
He wanted to smoke.
was he that young guy getting in the ring? He like, hey, all right, boom.
Absolutely.
Hey, relax.
Absolutely. And here's the crazy thing. I remember hitting him once and he came back for more. I was like, oh, we ain't come here for all this today. I didn't, damn it. What is happening?
Shawn believing in a calm you down lick.
Yeah, and he didn't calm down. My dad, but that made my dad like, yo, he's next.
Yeah.
Because he saw him in the ring with me and fight
Didn't
me
quit.
and not even. It wasn't like I just sat down on some stuff and but it was like I'm hitting him and the dude is still like, being him,
Good Josh Taylor.
Really good boxer. Like I said this before, I hate retiring guys on the show, but it just kind of seems like, that's where else do you go if you're Josh Taylor at this point, I actually thought this was a good boxing match for him. I hate that his hand didn't get raised. Based on what I saw from this fight, he looked like he still got a little bit left.
Okay, all right.
He looked like he still got a little bit left.
What was I tell? Give him a fight.
No,
too.
I know what Shawn's saying. Like he doesn't see a shot fighter.
Yeah.
He's he just sees a guy who not
Not the same.
Not what doesn't have the juice, the pep in his step. It's just a little bit of everything has taken a tick down. It's not like he's just falling off a cliff. It's a couple of things at play. He's a tweener. He's too big to make 140 now, but he's a little light in the ass frame wise at 147 because Essuman wasn't the more explosive puncher.
Right.
He was just the more physically strong welterweight.
Right.
And like that body work and those little short right hands, they had an effect on Taylor. Shawn could speak to this way better than me, but can you explain it like when guys are physically strong and they hit you, it's a different kind of impact than someone who really has like explosive snap and power or even heavy hands, but physically strong guys, they're not going to remove you from your senses, but you feel it. And, and it's, you know.
Kind of like when I spar with Big Ass over here, he was
strong.
He's strong, and he's touching me and it's moving me, but it was nothing that made me concerned. I wasn't concerned about him landing something and it doing something crazy to me. And I think that that's kind of the difference there. You'll see some guys are just physically strong, and I think that guys that are physically imposing in the ring, they believe in their strength. And you have other guys that sit back and wait on that punch. They believe in their power. See the difference there?
Okay.
That's kind of
because that's what this fight looked like in the first half a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that that's kind of what it is. And not to say that guys that are physically imposing don't have power. I'm just saying that there's a small difference. Usually the guys that are imposing their will, one or two things. Either that's their style and they know how to implement their strength to the best to get the best of their opponent, or they're strong and kind of like out of control and this is all I know to do, whereas again with guys that have power, a lot of those guys tend to sit back and wait on that power, or you got the other guy that's gonna double jab you and feint you and find it and land it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the difference there. And I feel like Essuman, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like he was just a little bit more, he was physical, but not snapping power,
But he was getting it. He was getting after it. And Taylor, meanwhile, because the puncher wants, in order to generate that power, they got to throw the shot a certain way, certain amount of leverage. Mm-hmm. So sometimes maybe that's why they're waiting. And because you think puncher, you think aggressive, and it's not always.
Yeah, it's not always.
Right. Taylor faded in this fight, and that's what lost him the fight on the scorecards. First half of the fight was good. It was a shootout, pretty much, and
And that's what makes you, will give you the indication that he's almost done. How do you say it? Rigorou. Because that's how you say it, right? Oh my God, didn't I say that the other day? But
you said something crazy, but it's all good.
Rigorou, I think he said it after his last fight. I can't do 12 anymore.
Damn.
And it's like, well, if you can't do 12 anymore, but you still want to perform, why don't you try a shot at 10? The problem with that is
no title fights at 10 rounds.
No title fights at 10 rounds.
Less money?
The money declines as well.
Like Pacquiao Barrios, if it was a 6-round fight, I might have to pick Pacquiao, right? But
shout out to Pacquiao.
It's a 12-round fight.
Shout out to Pacquiao.
Yeah. Would you rather a exciting 6-round fight or a decent 12-round fight?
Exciting 6-round fight. Always. Exciting 2-round fight.
Yeah. The girls.
Yeah.
What girls do 2 rounds?
What?
I sound like he said 2 rounds.
No, Tommy
said 2 minutes.
Yeah. No, 2 rounds. I'm saying Larry Merchant used to say, "I'll take 1 exciting round over 12 ones."
But it was Tommy Hearns and your boy
and Mark Hagler. Yeah.
Hey,
right.
Give me that.
Yeah. In 8 minutes, their fight gets talked about more than 99.9% of all fights of all time. So,
Well, that's what I see coming from Josh. It looks like doing 12 is just not in the question anymore. That's not in the cards anymore. And again, if you do a 10-rounder against Regis, that might not be a bad fight.
Be a fun fight.
It might be a fun fight to watch. You know what I mean? I think that boxing is just in this hole, and I think that boxing needs to figure out how to get out of this hole. And one of those holes are, like we always say, fighters don't have enough fights, and fighters aren't fighting consistent enough and all that kind of stuff. Well, again, let's talk about the 12-round fighter that just can't do 12 anymore, but he could do 10 hard. Match up a good 10-round fight and promote a great 10-round fight. Why do we have to promote big fights around belts? The belts ain't fighting.
It's true. There's definitely room for Dan Rafael used to call it fun old guy fights.
I ain't talked to him in a minute.
Fun old. He would call Taylor and Prograis, even though
I ain't heard the name in a minute. Everything that's been going on. Where he been?
He's still out there
doing his thing.
Because I ain't see him in New York.
Yeah.
Don't he live in New York?
I don't know. No, I think it was. Well, I don't want. I'm sorry, Dan. I don't know if you want people to know what
Yeah,
state you live
probably,
in, but he's on the East Coast, not New York, but he's on. Yeah,
Y'all be snitching on board.
Yeah, how many people you think out there got? You next.
You already did it. Hey, did I tell you about this time this dude sent 20 people to my house and he was at the fight? Crazy. Don't trust N-words. N-words, because it happened. Look, he almost spit.
Was
somebody
that?
brought that up. Somebody, that was Crawford Spitz.
Yeah, was that?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah.
I was on the phone with him the other day too.
Ignorant. You're an ignorant N-word. You lucky. I want to say it.
Yo, funny.
was ignorant.
He was talking about you the other day. He said he liked you. He said he liked you the other day.
Ignorant. I was ignorant. Why you bring all the people in my house, man? He said it was just you and your boy. Your boy didn't even show up. But how y'all like this for Josh Taylor? Kenneth Sims Jr. Blair Cobbs.
Blair Cobbs is fun. Kenny's at 140.
Wait, up in here. Oh, he went down 140? They had him up
He
in
been
here.
at 140.
147. I don't know why, but so Blair Cobbs.
I like Blair. Like that fight. But I think the number one thing is you really do gotta understand that if he is gonna fight again, he's gonna be very specific and strategic with who he fights.
He also has to fight more. He's fighting one fight a year since 2019.
I mean, you could easily argue he hasn't really won a fight since he beat Ramirez. Because a lot of people thought Catterall won that
That
first
was a
fight.
sexy fight though.
Oh, it was. And,
That fight was sexy.
Ant was appropriate to start by giving him his flowers because he did that. He was the 4-belt, 140-pound champion. You know, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What about Adrien Broner?
Oh, for Josh?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Nah,
I'm trying to get him a fight. Y'all.
Did you hear AB
AB
got in
gonna
a fight in a bar or club recently?
Nah.
No, you got your ears to the street.
My algorithm must
You
share
think he
it,
gonna
too.
fight
I'm like,
again?
yeah.
You think he gonna fight again?
Broner?
AB, yeah.
Probably, but you know, Adrian's funny, so I don't.
Damn, we missed him on.
God bless his
Adrien Broner, you owe us a lot.
I like him.
He
We all
said
got
you owe us a lot.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
Who do you think he could have fought back in the day, like at 140?
Oh,
I think he should have never came up to 47.
You nailed it. You nailed it. I
Chasing
think
the money.
the fight that got away was him and Danny at 140, Barclays Center.
Oh, never even thought about that fight.
That was the fight that got away to me.
People talking about that fight?
So I remember Danny knocked out Khan.
Yeah.
Danny knocks out Khan in 2012 out of nowhere, becomes the man at 40. AB has this scintillating performance against DeMarco on HBO in Atlantic City.
I remember that.
I remember leaving, because I covered that fight in Atlantic City. I remember leaving and just talking to my fellow boxing nerds and being like, they got to do that on the East Coast. And I remember telling them they're not going to do it because they think, oh, let's build it. You know, like, let's build Danny up. Let's build, and they're overthinking it. Like, it's hot right now. Barclays Center, it'll sell out. It'll be something fresh and new. It's not a young name fighting an older name to make the fight big. And it's two guys trying to make it. It would have been really hot. And
He was a dog down there too, boy.
at Broner.
That boy was different.
Who would have won that at 140, Shawn?
You been in the ring with both of them?
I think.
AB pre-Maidana.
Yeah.
And Danny at 140. That's different.
Danny.
Not at 147.
I think Danny would have won.
Yeah, edge.
You
to
think Danny would've won, right?
Edge, yeah.
That's
At the time, I thought Broner
But
would
back then,
win.
I was gonna say, but back
yeah.
then, AB
so athletic.
AB was using everything.
Yeah.
In his bag. He was so athletic.
thought he was the next guy.
If AB don't get caught, AB wins that fight.
Yeah, he's gonna stay in the pocket though. AB wasn't a
That's-
back foot. Yeah,
That's a good fight.
That's a good fight. I think AB would have won that. I don't think he would have got caught. And if he would have got caught, he would have survived it. He's a survivor. He'd have weathered the storm.
Draw.
He'd have got his hand raised at the end of the fight and been talking all that junk like getting caught never even happened.
Yeah.
That's who would have won. Yeah. That's how that fight would have went. That's how that fight would have went.
That's crazy.
AB would have beat Danny.
And would have
Just
been
based on
the man at
just
140.
based on he was more active and fast.
Yeah.
Danny wouldn't have been able to catch him.
Yeah. That was the one that got away from
And it
him.
would have been a fun last 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Cause Danny would have been really trying
Going
to get
for
it.
the-
That'd have
yeah,
been fun though.
going
That's
for
a
the kill.
fun fight.
Yeah.
Damn, y'all done teased me again.
Yeah.
The weight kind of F's up a lot of guys' careers, huh? They move ahead when they shouldn't.
Yeah. Because Adrian wanted the money. Pay-per-view money's at 47.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
it's like, this is a good show, man.
Yeah.
Fight Danny at the Barclays. It was, PBC had other plans. So they weren't even
fight we
PBC yet.
missed.
They weren't even PBC yet.
Yeah,
It was Al
yeah.
Heyman and
Yeah.
Richard Schaefer. And,
Yeah.
Another guy moved up too fast.
That's when Golden Boy was with them. So
Mikey?
Yeah.
Mikey missed a bunch of big fights.
Mikey too. I actually
Mikey
thought you were
Garcia?
gonna say Mikey and AB. That's the fight I thought you were
Didn't they
gonna say.
fight?
Well, they did fight.
They fight, yeah.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's how long.
But that was dry.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
fought-
yeah, it was dry,
That was
dude.
respect to both of y'all. But that was dry.
How would Mikey Danny go? Dry?
Yeah.
That would have been dry? Danny Mikey.
No, Mikey was supposed to fight Lomachenko. That was the
yeah,
fight.
okay.
Yeah, it was Mikey and Loma. And Mikey had all the talent. He had all the tools to find a way to beat Loma, and I still would have picked Loma.
Technician fight.
Yeah. I think Loma wanted it a little more.
Yeah.
And that would have played a factor in that fight.
You think that fight would have looked like the fight with Gary and Loma?
Mikey and
Yeah.
No,
When
Mikey.
Loma would have just started to kind of like elevate.
It would at some point, yeah. Down the stretch, I just got a feeling down the stretch in a really close, great fight, Loma would have been the guy more
You thought it would
willing
have been close, huh?
with Mikey and Loma.
Yeah.
Mikey had
It's hard to not
had
see.
the power and the
Yeah.
positioning to knock him out. Like
Yeah.
Mikey could knock anybody out at lightweight.
Yeah.
His power was
Yeah.
awesome in
Yeah.
those weight classes. It
Yeah.
was just he'll tell you himself though, he didn't love boxing like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he
And,
always said.
you know,
You just gonna keep popping this kind of stuff up, huh?
yeah, this was.
What's
I
that?
think Hafey might have taken this picture.
How the hell did you
you
get that
take- no?
picture?
I-
Yo, you ain't
okay.
seen the last
No,
one.
I'm tripping.
Bro,
You ain't seen
where
the
did that
last
picture
one.
come from?
You
Yeah,
ain't seen-
Adrien, Broner, and Danny?
Didn't he have AB and Danny, right? Yeah, he had AB and Danny
Bro,
up there
how
too.
you even got that picture?
This was
That's crazy, bro.
I remember Loma was getting ready to defend his belt against Mariaga in LA. And they took this in like the ESPN studios.
Hey, break down Caleb's fight and Charlo's fight real quick. And then we
Break
gonna get it
down.
back.
Please.
What?
I'm happy to do so. Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Hey, they're not fighting each other. Every time I say Caleb playing and Charlo's fighting,
That's
they're
why I
like,
said
fight
the
each
fight
other?
separately. I
But
said,
I'm just saying, me talking to
yeah,
other people.
yeah.
Did you? Have you got
I
that
got
too?
that this morning.
Okay, you getting that too?
What was
Caleb playing and Charlo's fighting this weekend. That's a fight? I'm like, no, they're not fighting each other.
dang. No, I feel bad.
Are we going?
I'm out of town this week.
Okay, well, I have to make some phone calls.
And
and
I
get
told
myself
somebody
in there.
like, yo, I think I booked prematurely. And then they was like, yo, you got to go to that fight. And I was like, well, they're not fighting each other. They're like, oh, okay, well then yeah, just come on out. I was like, dang, like it goes from go to like not go like that, you know? Go ahead, break it down.
Looking forward to covering some boxing in Vegas.
Gotta be.
And I get insecure and sensitive about my credibility. I did some material for this fight, and some of the people in the comments like, oh, Shawn's a PBC shill, or here he is shilling for the fight, and
PBC who?
a shill, like you're so. What I said in the piece was Charlo, when he's firing on all cylinders, is a really complete fighter. But key phrase being, firing on all cylinders, which I haven't seen him fire on all cylinders since the Derevianchenko fight. And just to call a spade with this card, on paper, it's one of the biggest mismatched doubleheaders you could think of in a while.
Yeah,
with prominent names headlining the card.
until you consider the circumstances.
Right, that Charlo is, coming off such a big layoff that it gives LaManna a better chance than ever.
And Caleb too. Caleb's in the division where the belts are kind of busy right now for the sake of words, and then there's no like another big name for him to get in the ring with. So not to say he's settling or we're settling, but this just ain't the name you would expect a Caleb Plant to be in the ring with.
No, it's to give Caleb his due on that, his context. He wanted Berlanga badly, made let everybody and their mother know he wanted to fight Edgar Berlanga. Berlanga opted to do the route he has, which is his right, but that's where he was interested in. And it's not like Diego Pacheco is banging down the door, hounding Caleb Plant for a fight.
Right.
And neither is Christian Mabili. So
Right.
he's fighting Resendiz, who is really a middleweight, who's been stopped by Elijah Garcia. Resendiz is a quintessential Mexican fighter.
Quintessential.
Yeah, like he
to swing.
he reminds me of a little bit of Pedro Campa, who Tio stopped a couple years ago. Pedro Campa. I wouldn't say he's even as good as like Oscar Duarte. I wouldn't put him on that tier of Mexican fighters. He's a tough, rugged, come forward, in shape, 26-year-old Mexican fighter who's gonna he's gonna give it everything he's got. He should be outclassed by Caleb. Caleb's skill and level should just be too much for this kid.
Counter shot.
Yeah, but Caleb potentially could just have his way in there and do what he wants. He could even fight him on the inside like he did McCumbee, and outdo him there potentially. But I think it'd be fun if Caleb did that to make a statement, but it might not be smart, but it'd be fun to watch if Caleb's like, hey, I'm boxing Resendiz, he's 0 off, but I'm gonna fight in the phone booth just to make a point to the Mexican fans, because he's got Mexican fans now from fighting Canelo and Benavidez. LaManna has the better chance at the upset, just off the Charlo being as inactive as he's been. LaManna has won 39 professional fights. It kind of reminds me of Steve Claggett. Like Steve Claggett, people thought he was going to get put out by Tio in 5 or 6 rounds. But this is a professional who's been in this game a long time, been in a lot of gyms, and you don't get to about 40 professional wins and only 5 losses without knowing some tools of the trade, knowing what you're doing and how to handle yourself as a solid professional. So with Charlo having the layoff he's had and hasn't looked really good since the Revianchenko, that gives LaManna an opportunity here to beat a fighter he couldn't have beat if this was a couple years ago, because Charlo at 60, man, Charlo to me is one of the biggest what ifs of this era. Jermall Charlo,
damn,
at one point, you could look at the tools and say, this guy could beat Canelo or Golovkin at 160. I remember kind of feeling that way because he was taller than them and he had a heavy jab and he could counter and he had power and he checked so many boxes. He is easily one of the biggest what ifs of this generation. If I had to put my money on it, unfortunately, I'd say he's never going to realize that potential. But with everything he's been through, I just want to see him pull his life together with the sport. And that'll be a good enough story for me.
Yeah.
It's a shame he'll probably never because Jermall became undisputed and most of us thought Jermall was even better than him. So we'll see what happens. On paper, it's a couple of mismatches, but Resendiz, tough Mexican fighter, in shape. LaManna's rebuilt himself with 9 wins. He's fighting Charlo off a long layoff. You don't know what kind of Charlo you're going to get. The best case scenario I think everyone involved is hoping for is that Charlo surprises people and looks so good that now there is real anticipation for him and Caleb Plant to fight. So we'll see what we get.
That's what I hope to get. That's what I expect to get. What about you, Ant?
The only thing I think LaManna...
Want me to get you some tickets?
Yeah, we can make it happen.
Take the lady?
No, then I got to figure out the kid situation.
Right, yeah.
I think she retired when you retired. She said she's not going to fall in love with nobody else in boxing. She's done with it. I don't know. Like, the best chance, I think, is LaManna with the upset, but only thing he has on his side is activity. I think talent-wise, I'm going with Charlo. Just what Charlo shows up. Is he focused? At one time, he had one of the top 5 jabs in boxing?
Definitely.
But my man only fought 2 times since 2021. My other man fought 11 times since 2021. Maybe that's a difference, but let's see what talent does to him. And I don't know, man. I just want to see Charlo. I think Charlo needs boxing more than boxing needs Charlo. And I just think you need to lock in, bro, and get into the boxing game. Hopefully, if both sides handle their business, we get Plant Charlo. Let's get him back. Shawn always say 3 months. Let's keep this boy active. I think it'll help Charlo in the long run too, man. I want to see boxing save Charlo.
I think 3 months, 4 months tops. I like Charlo in his last fight. Thought he showed patience. He showed this calmness
I didn't expect.
Yeah, he showed a calmness that I hoped that I would see. I don't think either of either of the Charlos, I don't think have ever been these like extremely intelligent, I'm gonna step here, make you step there. They've never been fighters that like really build the blocks and make this a beautiful arrangement before the knockout. Even
though they have skills.
Yeah, even though they have skills, it's like, put this block here, that block, and here it comes, But with the patience that I saw in this last fight, it seemed to me like, and I know you've spoken on it before, but what's going on outside of the ring, beautiful thing about it is like I've said before, when you step into the ring, life stops. The world stops. The only thing that happens, the only thing that matters is what's going on in the ring. And I think that he becomes a testament to that when you look back at his fight against Jose Benavidez. He becomes a testament of it didn't matter what he was going through. He came in, he showed poise, he showed that he had hunger, and kind of the list goes on. So that's what I expect to see from him in this fight. I expect to see him be just as patient. You know, I think LaManna is going to get him excited just enough that LaManna is going to walk into that big right hand that he's got, and it'll, you know, it's going to take however long LaManna decides for it to take, because I think Jermall truly has found the style that he's going to be until he's done boxing, which is going to be this patient style. If you're not doing anything, I'll try to be a little assertive, but I'm going to sit back and wait on that perfect right hand. And the thing that I know about both of them brothers, and I talked to their dad about it, where does this right hand come from? Because like their right hand is like Ryan Garcia and his brother's left hook. It's special. Their left hook is special. It's different, the way they throw it, the whole nine, the timing of it, all that kind of stuff. And for these guys, it's their right hand, you know. So I think the right hand lands. And then for Caleb, what we already know, Caleb's always gonna be him. And he's always gonna be. For Caleb, it don't matter what level he getting in the ring with, he gonna always shine and be the best version of himself.
He'll probably have a good degree of showmanship.
You talking about Caleb, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to do some saucy highlight reel.
Yeah.
Like because usually when he's in this kind of fight, whether it was Mike Lee or Vincent Feigenfuss, the Truax fight, not as much, but Mike Lee, Vincent it didn't just look good. It looked sexy. Like, you know, he puts together flashy combinations and does some shimmies. And so I think we might get some of that in this fight. It might be a fun showcase fight. And then for now that you talked about it, Charlo LaManna, I think what happens is Charlo's going to get touched in that fight because he's rusty. And I think that's where his rust really shows up more, is the reflexes getting out of the way. But I think as that rust goes off, LaManna likes to go to the body a lot, even though he's a tall guy. I think Charlo finds him with the right hand at some point in the fight. Yeah. But he's probably going to get touched up a little bit early. You know, LaManna's going to put some combinations together. Nothing too dangerous to scare Charlo, but he'll.
I would love for Plant not to play with his food and let people know this might be the last. This might be the last run. And hey, if I'm going on, I'm going on it.
Yeah, I
don't see you starting over again.
Yeah,
this might be the last run, but I would love him not play with his food, get through this guy, get through Charlo, then get him a mega fight. Charlo Plant is a good fight, but I don't think it's Berlanga stuff like that's a different level. Back in the day, but
no, the fight, it's not a big money fight, but I like the Pacheco fight, Caleb and Pacheco from just
Caleb.
Just because I look at Caleb as, outside of Canelo, obviously, as the toughest veteran in the division, tough from a skills standpoint and experience, all that. And so, and I look at Pacheco as the best of the young guys in that division. So that's why I'd want to see it. I kind of that would tell me a lot about the division outside of Canelo.
Call me crazy. Plant versus Charlo, Pacheco, Berlanga, 3-0. I think he wins all those fights.
For Plant?
Yeah. I think Plant wins all those
fights.
fights.
Berlanga.
Pacheco.
I got a feeling Pacheco might get him.
Might get Plant?
Cause the youth and the size.
Oh, see, I'm going with experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take the young guy.
Okay.
By an inch.
I see 3-0, but if any out of those three, it would Diego. I think could give him a run. Give him a run.
And that fight, I'm going with the more blacker guy.
Of course.
It's crazy.
Just want to keep it going for him.
That's crazy. We got a motivational message today, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, give him something.
You got something for me? You got anything for me?
Let's see what I got for you guys.
To tell? Don't sit over there like you ain't got no motivation.
So other episodes I would have. I didn't think of anything. Why of all the episodes?
I mean, I got a quote. I mean, the hard times don't break you, they make you.
The hard times don't break you, they make you. And then the hard times have patience. Don't rush it, because when it's hard and you rush it, you only make it harder. Take your time, be patient. things get easier as you go along. They don't get harder when you stay patient. This is the PorterWay.
Stay blessed.